Hi everyone. Hi Jackie. How are you today?
Hey, beautiful friend. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good too. I just feel like I just saw you a couple of minutes ago. Where are you?
I'm actually here at our JAFRA home office in Westlake, California, in what I like to call my office, which is actually the makeup room here at JAFRA headquarters, I like to call it.
And I just love to say that finally today I was in her chair. What do you guys think about my makeup? But Jackie, today,
Uh, Monica, you look beautiful, and those warm shades are so pretty on you. I love them. You can wear anything. I've seen you in turquoise eyeshadow, purple eyeshadow, and you look gorgeous, but I love these warm shades on you.
thank you, thank you. You did such a great job, and it was so easy to replicate it myself. So following your steps, super easy to do my makeup today. But Jackie, today we're not here to talk about my makeup. This is your show, and I know you have some fall makeup trends that you want to share with our followers, our consultants, our leaders. So let us know in the chat. What do you guys think? It's a fall makeup trend. What are you guys using right now? But let's hear it from Jackie.
Well, I usually like to not talk too much about trends because I love to talk about what's beautiful, what's evergreen, meaning what is going to just be beauty and in fashion all the time rather than trend. But fall is always a great time for trends because you can bring in those beautiful warm shades. And I love to see what people are ramping up for the holidays. It's usually a time when someone will typically go a little bit deeper with their makeup, do try new shades they haven't tried before. Maybe they're feeling festive. So I always love what fall can bring for makeup, but I also love what it brings for skincare. And that's an opportunity to sort of re-examine your routine, see what you need to add in, and also to kind of see, is your skin changing with the seasons, which we know that our skin can change as we age. Things like menopause, hormones, childbirth, lots of things factor into that. But sometimes change of season does. And especially if the weather is cooling off where you live, your skin may be getting a little bit drier. So I love to talk about incorporating those skincare elements into your makeup routine. Things like adding a serum into your concealer can make a big difference in how you look underneath your eyes. So, Monica, that's kind of the long answer to your question, but I do love to talk about fall trends specifically.
What I really love what you said is not just a trend, but something that we can use. As the month goes by, the holidays are coming, so it's not just something that we can do now in October, but more tips that Jackie can share with us to follow along.
One thing that I have noticed is those warm shades really are back like with a vengeance this year. Everybody loves to go with those warm, spicy pumpkin spice, latte makeup, everything that spice that you can think of and warming up with those fall colors. But they really are back in right now. And one thing that has really helped usher that in is not just like the latte makeup trend that was just viral a couple of years ago, but has continued to really climb. It's also things like an espresso eye. So going very deep, dark brown, black eyeliner, dark browns on the bottom eyelid, and really going into almost like a brown smoky eye. And that gives a beautiful depth to a makeup look, a beautiful, smoky, elegant look, and then partnering it with a nude lip is absolutely gorgeous. That's super hot and trending right now. So check out those espresso eye looks and look to find me doing them all the time because I absolutely love getting a chance to do an espresso eye look. Like I said, it's almost like a brown smoky eye, which I love. But also, we've got things like lips that we need to think about. So, speaking of spicy things, one of my favorite lip liners, of course, is the Jafra Beauty Nutmeg lip liner. And think, spicy nutmeg, but it's a beautiful, like spicy, like neutral earth tone that looks beautiful with so many different lipsticks. But I love it when you use it on the entire lip first, line it, and then color it in just a little bit. It's going to give a great long wear effect. So what happens when you use that lip liner on the entire lip, you're really building up that product. So you're going to get a long wear effect from it, but then you can go back in with a beautiful warm shade of a gloss right on top. So don't just leave it matte down with just the liner. Gloss it up just a little bit, but instead of using clear, use something that's got some warmth and you'll have that beautiful pumpkin spice look that I know you're going to love, especially with this season. I mean, you don't just need to get pumpkin spice at Starbucks. You can get pumpkin spice on your face. So this is a really great thing to wear, not just to fall in line with the fall trends with color, but definitely with those long wear techniques. But let me share something with you that's super important for fall. Remember, I mentioned that sometimes our skin can get a little bit on the drier side as the seasons change and the weather cools off. So you definitely want to make sure you're caring for your skin, but don't forget about your lips. Something like the JAFRA Beauty lip scrub is super important. You guys, this not only just kind of scrubs and exfoliates that lip and gets that dead, dry skin, but it moisturizes as well. It smells and tastes amazing. Don't eat it though. But it's great at sloughing off dead skin cells and really prepping that lip area for some fresh lip liner, like the nutmeg. So that's one of my favorite tips. Also, something that's super, super trendy for fall is using a serum foundation. Now, serum foundations are really hot. They have been for a while. This one, the JAFRA Beauty Advanced Silk Serum Foundation, has hyaluronic acid in it. So it's great for moisturizing. It's great for keeping that radiant, moisturized look. Hyaluronic acid is something that our skin already contains, but as we age, it begins to diminish and our skin can look dry and dull. So a serum foundation is really going to help with that, as well as when it cools off and our skin dries out a little bit. So swapping over to a serum foundation is a great option to keep a beautiful, radiant glow. So we've got so many options for a glow, right? Let's check the comments and see who's here. Ooh, Kirsten is here. Welcome in. And Serena and Amy Johnson. What's up, beautiful? And Cambria, so nice to have you here with us. Oh, that's amazing. And Brandy, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. And please, Rocio Hinojosa is here, one of my besties. I'm so happy to see you here. Oh, Francis Robinson, welcome in. So you guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in our chat. I love to answer questions. And if you've got any tips that you want to ask about, please feel free to. Now, something I wanted to show you about the lip liner and the lip gloss is I'm just going to go ahead and grab my cotton pads here. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the lipstick that I have on right now so I can show you a trick. I absolutely love using the nutmeg liner. You're going to love this, you guys. So I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to go back in with my nutmeg lip liner. Nice and spicy. Remember, I told you it's good to have that sort of pumpkin spice going on. I'm going to just put a little tiny amount though. Starting right on the bottom. Oops, let me grab that. There we go. Doing a little bit of a buildup. Now I'll go on the Cupid's bow right in the top center. Really sort of blending it and fading it into my lip. Now bringing that color in because like I said, this is a very long wear product. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my lips with it. So that's going to help with that long wear effect that I need. And do any cleanup. So I've got a great defined lip. Now I'll go ahead and use my gloss right on top of that. This is in the shade Guava. Just a small amount. definitely a pumpkin spice look. So even if I was going to go ahead and do that latte makeup, that espresso eye, anything like that that's trending this fall, that's going to look absolutely gorgeous. So let's talk about eyes again. Remember, we talked about that espresso look being super hot and trendy right now, but really deep smoky eyes are in, and wing liner is making a comeback like no tomorrow. I love a good smoky liner. I love to try to create a wing with a pencil liner and smoke it out because it's kind of foolproof. You don't have to do such a great job and get it so precise. But take advantage of grabbing something like JAFRA's Always eyeliner, the liquid power eyeliner, and learn how to do that good sharp wing because I'm telling you, it is back like there's no tomorrow. And an elongated wing is super hot. But you know, something that I have noticed being a makeup artist of 33 years, I definitely pay closer attention to what's in fashion and what looks beautiful rather than what's trending and what the newest fad is. But I'm always interested in what's going on with brows. You guys, brows are so crazy because they're such a personal thing. You know, it depends on the shape, it depends on the color of hair you have, it depends on if you want defined brows, fat brows, thin brows. But I have noticed that they're not quite as bold as they have been, and they are beginning to slim down and look a little more soft and natural. So I definitely love that. And I want to show you something. So if you have a brow pencil, for example, I love JAFRA's micro brow pencil. Oh, shoot. I thought I had it with me and I can't find it. Never mind, I lied because it's right here. I love to take the dark blonde, and even if you are like a medium brunette, I love to use it just to make little tiny hair strokes and keep the brow thin so it's not overdone. I'm kind of thankful for long are the days of 2016 brows gone because they were so bold. I felt like all you saw was an eyebrow. So I'm loving them thinning down and becoming a little more natural looking so that you can really showcase the eyes and frame the eyes rather than just here are my brows. So using a very small, thin micro brow pencil, I love this one. It's even got a spoolie on the other side. You can easily just hit the bottom, create a small line, and then go in and gently feather in. Pretty crazy even with glasses, huh? But look at that extra definition I got right in the arch. So I will bold up the arch just a little bit to give the appearance of a more defined brow arch, but leaving this inner corner and the outer corner nice and light and sort of feathered and faded on that inner corner. So just strengthening up the arch. So with fall trends and thinner, more natural looking brows, doesn't mean you cannot define them. It just means you need to know where to define them. And then what's great about a small micro brow pencil is if you're missing any spots, if you've got one of those crazy gaps somewhere where you're missing some brows, you've got that classic brow scar where maybe your little brother threw a rock at you and you're missing eyebrows now. You can always just fill it in with this skinny pencil or even just elongate the tail or add that little fade to the inner corner. It makes it really easy to achieve that beautiful, sort of thinner, more natural looking brow. So super simple to work with. I see that Cambria has asked, can you give any hints on the eyeshadow palette that Kirsten said was coming next month? Please say browns, golds, and mauves. Cambria, so I actually have not seen the palette that's coming, but I can, from what I understand, say you're going to love it. Trust me, you are going to love it. All right. So just hold on to the seat of your pants because it's going to be a good one. All right. So we also, oh my goodness, we have so many people just popping in with us. Gina, what's up, girl? Thanks for popping in. And Fatty, I'm so glad that you're here. Oh my goodness. Merla and Octoria is here. What a beautiful group we have with us today. So please feel free to hit me with some more questions. I do also want to recommend something as our skin is changing with seasons typically. You know that I love to add my BioLab caffeine eye serum into my concealer. That's one of my favorite tricks I've been doing lately over on YouTube. I do it like crazy for my clients that come into my beauty bar makeup studio. And when I add that caffeine eye serum into concealer, it keeps it more luminous and it keeps it from creasing and looking so dried and matte, as well as you're putting serum on underneath your eyes, so it's good for your skin. But something I've noticed as the weather's cooling off and my skin is drying just a little bit, I am really enjoying adding an actual eye cream into my concealer. So when I use something like a cream concealer, for example, JAFRA's Roll Up Cream Concealer, I like to put a little bit on the back of my hand and put a little eye cream with it, using my ring finger to warm it up, then just tap it underneath my eyes. So I've got an extra moisturized concealer that way. So adding straight eye cream to it is amazing. I would have already put on my BioLab serum under the eye and let that kind of dry and set up, soak into my skin. But then going in with that concealer mixed together with the eye cream is going to add that extra level of moisture. It's going to feel amazing, especially if you're like me and maybe allergies bother you. It can reflect in your skin quite a bit. So stay hydrated, my friends. That's tip number one. Stay hydrated. Now I just sound like your makeup mom, though, probably. Um, Kirsten said, I'm a VIP Royal. I think the palette that is currently posted is from last year. Um, yep, these are some great questions about palettes, though. And, you know, palettes are definitely hot. Everybody loves a good palette, and I cannot wait to see what we get next. Um, Octoria said, I'm in love with BioLab caffeine eye serum. You guys, it is my number one selling item. Everyone who comes into my makeup studio and tries makeup, or that I do makeup for a special occasion, they get an opportunity to try that eye serum, and everybody wants to take it home with them. Everybody wants to go online and order it. It's super popular, and everybody's finding really beautiful results with it. That's the number one most important thing. You know, we can try what's trending, we can try what we've seen on Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest, but it's what we get results with that's important. So I know that you're going to love the results that you get from mixing skincare into your color products. I mean, how could you possibly go wrong? And I always say, when you're doing something like concealer under the eyes, adding a skincare element in is only going to be a huge bonus, because that's the most delicate skin on our face. And sometimes it's the skin that gets treated the worst. We pile more product, we'll put foundation, concealer, powder, we'll go in and dab some setting spray, anything we can to keep it from creasing, right? And then sometimes we fall asleep with our makeup, or we don't completely get it cleaned off underneath. What a beating that delicate skin takes. So every chance you get, take extra good care of it and really give attention to that skin under your eyes, which I know is doable by adding great things like that BioLab eye serum into your concealer. And, you know, I even keep it in a little mini fridge so it's nice and cool. And then I can put it on under my eyes because it works great for deep puffing. So there's a little tip, keeping your products cold. Yeah, a lot of the ladies in our chat are agreeing that BioLab caffeine eye serum is a number one hit. That's amazing. Everybody loves it. I needed to hear the concealer eye cream tip, Serena said. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I could help you with that. That's one of our number one like beauty hacks that we love at my beauty bar, my makeup studio that I own. I have a team of makeup artists there, and they know once you have a client who's looking dry and pretty creased under the eye, you keep adding concealer, you're just going to make it look worse. But when you see that happening, if you go in with a little bit of eye cream, you can do it with your concealer brush, or you can do it with that ring finger on your own face if you prefer. But once you go in and freshen it with eye cream, now it can take a little bit more concealer. You can blend and blur that concealer when you're using that eye cream as a tool rather than just as an eye cream. It has so many uses. And don't forget, your eye cream works really well on your upper lip. The skin under our eyes is very similar to the skin here, so you can treat it the same. Now, of course, you wouldn't exfoliate under your eyes. Don't forget what I told you about that incredible lip scrub. It is a little bit different in that way because, your lips can get scaly, they can peel a little bit. So it is okay to exfoliate, but definitely feel free to use your eye cream. What I do is I put it on my ring finger and tap them together. Then I go underneath tapping. I get a good amount of eye cream going on, and anything left on those fingers gets put right on my lips. I love to treat that upper lip just the same way I do under my eyes, like very delicate skin. Put skincare on it every chance you get, you guys, especially at night. I love to do a lot of eye cream right there on my lips. All right, I'm checking our chat for any other comments. I don't see any. Brandy said, join us here for JAFRA tips. Thanks for inviting your friends. Yeah, we've always got great tips. I like to say sometimes beauty hacks, great color tips, and always what's trending. We love to talk about, but you heard me in the beginning. I love to talk about those fall trends. It's my favorite season for makeup. It's not necessarily my favorite season for fun, though. I sure love me some summer, but makeup season for me, fall comes around, and I'm so excited because I start implementing copper and the pumpkin spice shades and the deeper eyeshadows. And I really look forward to ramping it up for holiday because once Christmas rolls around, people that never thought about wearing color on their eyes all of a sudden would try something like a turquoise eyeshadow, like we offer in our Novo Marine palette. That's a beautiful eyeshadow palette, super festive, looks incredible on. And then you'll notice people wearing deeper makeup, darker makeup, more pops of color. So it gets really fun around the holidays. And then before you know it, New Year's Eve has rolled around. And oh my goodness, everybody wants a little bit of sparkle. You're gluing some gems on people's eyes. Everybody's got some glitter going. So needless to say, fall is just kind of like diving into that fun color season for me. Mary's asking, what's your favorite eye cream? I do really love the Royal Revitalize eye cream because it's very lightweight and it soaks in very well. It works for all of my clients. I've never had anybody say it bothered their eyes before, so I feel really safe using that on a wide range of people. But when I need extra moisture and I just really need to get in there and add that moisture, I want a good, rich, creamy eye cream. Our new JAFRA Royal Jelly Eye Cream is absolutely incredible. It is very rich. It just takes a small amount. And I especially love that one at night because I can really get a good amount on there and it feels incredible. And I want to tell you the truth, you guys, 100%. I have noticed a huge difference in the softness of my skin under my eyes. Like when I use that eye cream at night and I wake up in the morning, I feel under my eyes because I know it's going to feel amazing. And it does. It feels extremely soft under my eyes. I really love what that eye cream does. I recently had one of my YouTube subscribers say something like, eye creams aren't necessary. A dermatologist will even tell you just use your moisturizer. And you guys, I'm not a dermatologist, but I want to tell you my personal experience as a makeup artist of over 3 decades. Eye cream is very important. The skin under our eyes is very different than the skin on our cheeks, the skin on our necks. We have to treat it like it's very delicate and treat it really special. If you've only got one item you can splurge on this season, I would say splurge and grab yourself one of those Royal Jelly eye creams. You guys, you will thank me because it is ultra hydrating. And sometimes, it can reflect in our eyes if we're dehydrated, if we haven't taken great care of our skin, or if we're tired. And this really helps my skin bounce back under there. So I just love it. We have fabulous eye creams, Serena said. You are absolutely right, girl. And Amy said, I love bold, warm, bold shades. Is the espresso trend similar to the mob boss wife trend from a couple of years ago? I loved that trend, by the way. Yes, I guess you could say it's similar, but it's more focused on really deep browns for your eyeshadow. And instead of leaving a light bottom eyelid like I have right now, and then using the deep shade in the crease, you actually use your deep shade all the way from the lashes and begin to diffuse and fade up towards the brows. So it's darker at the lash line and fade up towards the brows, similar to a smoky eye. So not just darker on the outer corner, but darker all the way over and then fading up. almost in a half moon or similar to that halo eyeshadow effect. I have tried it with a tiny bit of brown shimmer and bronze shimmer in the middle. It looks beautiful. But I think if you're following straight on trend with the espresso eye, it would be more of a matte look. But I cannot keep my fingers out of shimmer. I love the shimmer. So there I will go every time, just grabbing a little shimmer and popping it on there. Even like with my JAFRA Beauty powder blush in the shade bronze, it looks beautiful right in the middle of that espresso eyeshadow. So don't be afraid to give that a try. One of our liquid eyeshadows that you can use that's made by JAFRA is the shade Dorado. And that just, I believe, means gold, but it's actually more of a brown. And that's a beautiful liquid eyeshadow you can use to achieve that espresso eye as well. And then just partner with a brown or black eyeliner. Can you show us a picture of what you mean? I don't have any pictures handy that I can show you, Kirsten, but definitely, I bet you'll be finding something coming along on JAFRA Beauty Insiders of me sharing an espresso eye. So stick around for that. Darlene just popped in and said, hey, everyone. Oh, Amy said, oh, I see. Thank you. I'm so glad you got what I was talking about. And Gina said, I love the Royal Jelly eye cream. It makes such a difference. It really does. It's one of those products that I really am proud to share with my friends and with my clients because I have personally seen a huge difference. I've got personal experience, a personal testimony about it. And my friends love to know what I'm using and finding results with. So that's definitely one of the things that you want to get. Espresso ice sounds so cool. It is. It's really cool, you guys. Check it out. You can actually go find it on YouTube. You can see me doing it. I'll definitely be sharing it here with JAFRA as well. Since JAFRA doesn't have an eye primer, do you use your concealer for yours? Actually, what I love to teach, I actually am JAFRA Beauty Pro, JAFRA's makeup trainer, and I love to teach and train our incredible consultants and makeup artists here with JAFRA to use your primer on your entire face as your first step when you're beginning your makeup application, and that includes your eyelids. So your full face primer, just use it on your eyelids. After that, apply your foundation, and I apply that on my eyelids as well. I leave it under my eye. Don't pile a lot under my eye at this point because I'm going to go back later with concealer. But at this point, I've put primer and foundation on my whole face, including my eyelid, and then I powder just lightly, not to fully set or finish anything, but just to give a lightweight dusting to kind of buff out my foundation. And I put that on my eyelids as well. So now my eyelids are fully prepared to receive that powder eyeshadow. Now, if you were going to do a liquid or a cream eyeshadow, you may not want to put a lot of powder on the eyelid, but definitely go in with that primer and that foundation on your eyelid. Now, if you want to brighten the eyelid, if you were going to do a more bold eyeshadow look, absolutely go in with concealer. But I love keeping it a little more lightweight on my eyelid. So that's why I prefer a full face primer and a foundation as my eyeshadow primer. I also love to multi-use or multitask products. I don't like having to buy a ton of different products for my face if I can use them in more places than one. So face primer on my eyes, my lips, and my neck also, I'm in. The best face primer for that also is JAFRA's all-in-one primer. It's a water-based primer. It has a beautiful satin finish to it, and it will pair with every single foundation. So that's a safe bet as well. You don't have to be afraid that this primer only goes with this foundation, because if you get the all-in-one, it really is all-in-one. All right, you guys, I think it's probably time to wrap it up. Let me see if we had any more questions. What color shadow are you using with JAFRA for espresso eyes? I love to use, there's a cinnamon brown shade in the Sienna eyeshadow trio, and I like to pair it with the liquid eyeshadow Dorado, and then I go in with an eyeliner. So definitely check that out. Sometimes, like I said earlier, I like to use my bronze blush right in the middle to add a pop of shimmer because the bronze blush does have a little bit of shimmer in it. And yeah, there we have it. If you've got a different eyeshadow palette, you can use that. Feel free to use any matte brown that you've got and then partner it with a black, like in the JAFRA eyeshadow trio. There's one called Drama. It has a beautiful, deep black in it that looks fantastic. And also that Novo Marine palette that I mentioned earlier has an incredible black and a beautiful nude in it. So don't be afraid to check your other palettes. Don't feel like you need to stick to one that's been pre-designed and says espresso palette on it. Just go ahead and look for what you've got already in your bag or drawer. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us here on JAFRA. I'm so excited that we got to spend some time with you today and bring you all these incredible tips and tricks and fall trends coming to you straight from our home office in Westlake, California. Happy fall, everyone.